Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. So we have a new forecast that predicts that perhaps one party could take the White House, plus the House, plus the Senate, have complete control over Congress, which if that happens to be the case, then they could pass certain laws that they wanted involving Social Security, Medicare, and other issues. So we're going over one idea that's being floated out there and the possibility that actually taking place if this party takes control of Congress. Plus, Trump's jury verdict could come in as soon as later on this week. We're going to be going over what that could possibly mean for voters as well. But before we go ahead and dive into the main content of today's video, if you wouldn't mind helping out real quickly by just giving this video a like, that just helps out with the good old YouTube algorithm, and also consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. Plus, if you would like to receive up to $200 in free stock or $200 in free cash, in a pinned comment below, I will be leaving a link to Robinhood. All you have to do is once you click on that link, is just sign up for a free account and then simply link your bank account. You do not even have to make an opening deposit. At that point, Robinhood will be sending you one free stock worth all the way up to $200. And if you really just have the cash, all you have to do is once you receive the free stock, is just sell it for what it's worth and then transfer the cash value right back to your bank account. Okay, so diving right into our lead story of today's video, and the Trump trial is wrapping up. The case is going to be reaching the jury now, and they're going to be deliberating. Is Trump innocent? Are they going to acquit Donald Trump on these issues, or are they going to call him guilty? We're going to see how soon they get back to us on that. More than likely, since he is a former president, you would think they're going to deliberate real hard on this issue. They're not going to come to a quick decision, at least on a guilty verdict. If he's acquitted, it could be very quick, at least I would think. And of course, this is also could potentially have a huge impact on the election. Like, are voters going to change their minds on Trump for the good or the worse if he is guilty or innocent? So according to The Hill, the looming verdict in former President Trump's hush money trial will send ripples through the 2024 presidential race and determine whether Trump will run for the White House as a convicted felon. The defense and the prosecution delivered closing arguments Tuesday. The jury will deliberate over 34 counts of falsifying business documents in connection to an alleged hush money scheme involving porn actor Stormy Daniels. The jury must reach a unanimous verdict on each count. The verdict will be historic. Either Trump will be campaigning for the White House as a convicted felon, giving Democrats fresh fodder and possibly turning off independent voters, or he will be acquitted as the first U.S. president to stand trial, giving him a rallying cry for the rest of his campaign. The political significance of the trial was on display Tuesday as the Biden and Trump campaigns held dueling events outside the courthouse. Polling has shown there is a swath of voters who may shift their views on Trump depending on the outcome. A Quinnipiac University national survey conducted in April found 21% of voters said a conviction would make them less likely to support Trump, while 62% said it would make no difference. Among Trump voters, the poll found that 62% said a conviction would make no difference in their vote, while 31% said it would make them more likely to support Trump. So 31% said they would be more likely to support Trump, actually, if he is convicted of this. And again, I mean, you can look at those numbers. Even those who would be less likely to support Trump doesn't necessarily mean they would go out and vote for Biden, or doesn't necessarily mean that they would go out and vote for RFK Jr. At the end of the day, we're only looking at, 2, possibly 3, if you include RFK Jr., that are in this race. And basically, it's Trump versus Biden. So even if you aren't, too proud of Trump's actions or some of the things that he says, again, it's either voting for Trump or voting for Biden. And after these past 4 years with Biden, I've known personally people who are just so turned off of Biden, even those who voted for Biden, that they're ready for Trump once again, that maybe they weren't the biggest fan of Trump's presidency or thought that he could have done things better, and so they voted for Biden just to have someone new. Now they're tired of Biden and they want something new as well. So again, we're going to have to see what happens. And even if he is guilty, we're going to have to see whether or not there's going to be jail time associated with that. He's going to be a first-time convicted felon. Not a huge thing there. So I would think there wouldn't be any jail time. Probably a pretty massive fine. but we will have to wait and see what happens. Now, of course, there's also a new projection out there where it shows that in November we have big favorites for which party is going to win in the White House, which party is going to win in the House, and which party is going to take the Senate. And in all three of these, there's one party that has a pretty good chance of winning all three, sweeping that, having complete control of not just the Congress, but also the White House as well, which means they're going to have a great opportunity to pass certain laws and get their way with certain things. So according to The Hill here, Trump and GOP are early favorites for the White House as well as Congress. So if we look at the presidential forecast here by The Hill, we have that Trump has nearly a 58% chance to win the White House over Biden. Then we look at the Senate. Republicans have an 80% chance to retake the Senate majority. This would be absolutely huge for them. And as far as the House goes, in the House, Republicans have a 64.4% chance to remain in the majority of the House. And once again, if this happens, we could have significant policy change across the board. And in one of those categories, we could be potentially looking at, different reforms as far as Social Security and Medicare goes, because right now they are projecting that by 2033, if nothing is done about Social Security, there could be possible cuts of up to 26% across the board, because there is not going to be enough money in the trust fund or flowing into the trust fund to pay everyone 100% of the benefits. And so if we have Republicans in control of the House, Republicans can control the Senate, we're going to have more free market ideas pushed out there, because Republicans are more free market, whereas Democrats for the most part are more like heavy tax, more government control. And so we have Steve Forbes. He's actually pushing this idea out there, and a lot of Republicans are in support of this idea. Let's go ahead and listen what he has to say.
Washington's runaway spending is highlighting the seemingly unstoppable growth of the big entitlement programs, Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Moreover, Social Security and Medicare are headed for insolvency. The Medicare Hospital Insurance Trust Fund is projected to run out of money in 5 years. The surpluses in the Social Security Trust Funds will be gone by 2035, necessitating reductions in payments to beneficiaries by 20% or more. Those trust funds are now paying out more than they're taking in. The looming disasters are prompting plenty of proposals of what to do. They range from raising ages for eligibility, to raising taxes, to cutting benefits. Happily, all of this wailing and hand-wringing is unnecessary. The right changes, and I emphasize the word right, won't mean fewer benefits for recipients. In fact, for many, it'll be the exact opposite. Start with Social Security. Fortunately, the nation has enough wealth to cover the promised benefits for those who are on the system or slating to go on it in the next generation, especially if Washington adopts pro-growth economic policies similar to those of John Kennedy and Ronald Reagan. It's younger people who have to worry about getting seriously shortchanged. The solution here is obvious and easily doable. Allow younger workers to have a portion of their payroll taxes go to their own personal retirement accounts, similar to a 401k or IRA, with proper regulatory safeguards. Studies show these people end up with significantly higher benefits than they'd get with the traditional Social Security system. It would turn a capital destroyer into a capital creator, an immense stimulator of future prosperity. As for Medicare, two approaches would more than save the day. Offer beneficiaries a new part, call it Part G for great. It would be like a health savings account. A couple would get each year, say, $20,000 in their medical savings account to cover routine expenses. What they don't spend in that year accumulates in their account. Catastrophic expenses above $20,000 would be totally covered by Medicare. A Part G reform would introduce market discipline. Beneficiaries would police prices because it's their own money, not the government's. This gets to the basic problem of American health care today. There is little market discipline because the current system is based on third parties, primarily large insurance companies, Medicare and Medicaid, not the individual patient. But this is about to change drastically. More company health care plans have high deductibles and copays. Individuals are paying more out of pocket than ever before. Result, a real consumer patient-oriented market is beginning to emerge, which will in the years ahead drastically reduce bloated healthcare costs. As for skyrocketing Medicare costs, let states offer beneficiaries personal health savings accounts similar to Medicare Part G. The best way to save Medicare and Medicaid is to unleash the power of patients by letting them, not those third parties, have the power of the purse.
Okay, so basically Forbes is saying that those who are already receiving retirement benefits or those who are close to receiving retirement benefits, you would get what you're already getting. And if you're close to retirement benefits, then you're going to get what you're supposed to get. As far as younger people, of course, he is saying that those are the people in real danger. Those are the people that could see significant cuts if nothing is done. So for them, what he's recommending that they do is that part of the money that would normally go into the Social Security Trust Fund from their payroll taxes taken out of each of their paychecks, it would actually go into their own private retirement fund. And with those private retirement funds, they could invest them into like the S&P 500 or the stock market, which, historically is going to grow much higher and it's going to give them a higher benefit by the time they reach their retirement age than it would be if it just went into the Social Security Trust Fund and was paid out later. So he's advocating for more of a free market idea there. Leave your thoughts in comments below. Are you on board for an idea like that? Are you against it? Leave your thoughts in comments below. But that's all we have for today's video. I certainly hope that you enjoyed and found value out of it. If you did, again, I would greatly appreciate if you could give this video a like. Consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. And I will see you in the next video.